James Carter sat at his kitchen table, the kind that had held more bills than breakfasts. And let me tell you, this morning wasn't shaping up to be any better. Sunlight dragged itself lazily through the blinds, casting long, tired shadows over a stack of paperwork that looked more like a monument to frustration than anything useful. At 42, James was supposed to be one of those men who had made it. You know the type, the kind that walks into a room and suddenly everyone straightens up. Not because they want to, but because they have to. But life? Oh, life doesn't give a damn about your titles, your plans, or how hard you've worked. It has this nasty little habit of throwing bricks at your face just when you think you've got it all figured out. James stared at the pile of papers before him, each one mocking him with fine print and bureaucratic nonsense. It wasn't that he couldn't understand them. Hell, he could probably recite a financial statement in his sleep. But today, it all felt heavier, more personal. Maybe it was the weight of running a massive company, or maybe it was that nagging thought in the back of his mind, the one that whispered, no matter how high he climbed, the world would always find a way to remind him where he came from. And where was that, you ask? Southside Chicago, baby. A place where dreams either grew teeth or got eaten alive. James wasn't born with a silver spoon. Hell, there wasn't even a plastic one. His father had worked double shifts at a steel mill until the day he was fired for daring to speak up about unsafe working conditions. You have to be 10 times better than them, his father used to say, the words seared into James's memory like a brand. Not twice as good, 10 times. Because they will never let you forget who you are. James had taken that advice and carved it into his soul. He clawed his way out through scholarships, internships, and more sleepless nights than he could count. He built himself into a man they couldn't ignore. And yet here he was, 20 years later, staring at a stack of papers like they were some cruel reminder that no matter how far you go, the world always has a way of trying to pull you back down. But James? James wasn't about to let that happen. Not today. You see, James had a little habit every now and then he liked to go undercover. No suits, no ties, no chauffeur waiting outside. Just him, in a beat-up leather jacket and jeans that looked like they hadn't been washed in weeks. It was his way of staying grounded, of seeing the world the way most people did, unvarnished and raw.
And today?
Today, he decided to pay a visit to one of his own bank branches. Not for some big meeting. Not to shake hands or give speeches. He just wanted to see how things really ran when nobody knew who he was.
He picked a downtown branch.
The kind that looked polished on the outside but had a reputation. A bad one. He'd heard whispers, complaints. Long wait times. Dismissive staff. And, in more than one case, outright discrimination. That wasn't something he could ignore. He grabbed his wallet, his keys, and an old baseball cap that had seen better days before heading out the door. He wasn't expecting much. A few raised eyebrows, maybe a little impatience from the staff. But what he walked into, that was a whole different story.